Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today you're in for a treat. We're making bourbon applesauce date cake topped with a whipped cream cheese frosting that is sublime. And it has this date syrup in it that I found in the store that I'm in love with. And Date Lady has become my new best friend. So watch how I use it. So the first thing I've done is preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, done. I have prepped a 9-inch cake pan. I have sprayed it with nonstick cooking spray or butter it, whatever you want to do. I've put a parchment cake circle on the bottom, sprayed it again or greased it again, and then floured it, dumped the excess out. If you want to see a video on how to prep a pan, I have a video on how to prep your pans. So first thing we want to do is get our mise en place. We're trying to get stuff ready, so all we have to do is go bada bing, bada boom, and we got our batter done. So in a bowl here, we're going to do all our dry ingredients. 1 cup all-purpose flour, and then we have 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. We have 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of table salt. That all goes in there. All right. Now our beautiful spices that are really gonna punch up our applesauce and date. So we have 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I love cinnamon. If you like, really like cinnamon, punch it up a little bit if you want. It's your cake. And then I have 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, because I love those spices. They give this beautiful dark, beautiful rich, not only taste but color to the cake. And then you're going to whisk this up. It's very important that you whisk all your dry ingredients together. All right? Especially your chemical leaveners, your baking powder and your baking soda, because you want to make sure that the cake is perfectly leavened, and this will actually add to the texture of the cake. All right? That is put aside. Now we come to the electric mixer. In my electric mixer, I have 1 cup of granulated sugar and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter that I have let soften. Paddle attachment, and we're going to cream this until it gets sort of light and fluffy. So that's about medium speed. In the meantime, I have 1 egg, all right, and I'm going to put a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract in that egg. Once this is creamed, and this is a typical creaming method cake. You start with your butter or your fat, and then your sugar, and you're creaming it so it gets sort of nice and light and fluffy. And then you're going to add an egg or several eggs, depending on the recipe, but you're going to do those one at a time. We only happen to have 1 egg. Now, over here on the side, I have 1/2 cup of my applesauce. It can be unsweetened applesauce, because we already have 1 cup of sugar in there, so unsweetened is good. And 1/4 cup of my new best friend date syrup, which is delicious. In the meantime, I can show you I have 1/2 cup of finely chopped dates. These are pitted, chopped, dry dates. And I'm gonna put, the fumes are overcoming me, but I have 2 tablespoons of very high quality bourbon, putting them in there. Yum! So good, and just let it sort of, soften those dates up. And then 1/2 cup of chopped, toasted pecans. You don't like pecans, use walnuts. You don't like nuts, leave them out. So we've gotten a really nice fluff. So now we're going to add our egg. I'm gonna up the power just a bit. All right, and I'm going to stop it just for a second just to push down the excess flour that's going around here. There we go. All right, put it back on. And at this point, I can put the speed up a little bit. Once we start adding our dry ingredients, which includes our flour, we want to do this on low speed so we don't overdevelop gluten and toughness of the cake. So once we have this beautiful looking, it almost looks like a batter right there, I'm going to take my 1/2 cup of applesauce. I'm going to put that right in. And it's going to be followed by my luscious date syrup. Remember, 1/4 of a cup. Oh, it's so rich, and it gives such a beautiful flavor and a color to that cake. I love it. It's yummy. And once I have this together, you can see it's sort of nice and brown. Then I'm going to lower my temperature, not my temperature, my speed. Oh boy, I must have a temperature if I'm talking about that. I'm getting all verklempt over this cake. It's so good. Now I'm going to, on low speed, we're going to put in our dry ingredients. Remember, low speed, we don't want to develop gluten. We just add them all. I'm just trying to get them all over, or all over me and my kitchen. And once these are in, you're going to add your dates and your nuts. And I like to do that with a rubber spatula manually. So I'm going to take that. I'm just going to add everything in there. Get in there, boys. All right. Push that down. Stop it, and there's your batter. Now, we do have to go around because there is some flour around the outer edges, and that's fine. That's cool. So we're just going to clean this paddle off. Sometimes I use my fingers. So I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to go to where my nuts and my bourbon soaked dates are. And I'm just going to go around to get all that beautiful leftover ingredients that might be on the bottom. There's always a little bump in the bottom of an electric mixing bowl. So you just want to do that. You don't want to over mix here. All right. In go the drunken dates and the bourbon. Add the whole thing. Don't waste that good bourbon. And then we're putting in our beautiful chopped pecans. And we're just going to fold that in. All right, folding is just a very gentle form of mixing. You're just going to get it all in there. And you really want that bourbon incorporated. Oh, be still, my heart. I can smell it. Mmm, delicious. And it's only 2 tablespoons. It's not that much. If you don't want to do it and you don't like bourbon or you don't want to add alcohol, just leave it out. It's pan time and baking time. So all we have to do is put this into our 9-inch cake pan. And I'm going to show you a trick that'll prevent any humps in your cake and any bumps in the top of the cake. Watch, this works every time. So once all your batter's out, you're just going to gently smooth, and then you're going to go get yourself an offset spatula like this, okay? And all you're going to do is pretend you are a clock, the hands of a clock. So you're going to go over here and you're just going to start spreading. You're going to go, I'm going to go clockwise. You go any way you want, and you're just going to drag that batter like a clock. Just go in a circle. So your one hand is sort of guiding your pan around, and you're spreading that batter and you're smoothing it out. Don't overhandle it. Just once it's done, go over the center. You are done. Ready for the oven. All right, so this is between 35 and 40 minutes. I find my oven takes this about 38 minutes. You want a knife to come out clean. All right, putting it in 350 degrees. There you go. So we're going to put it in for about 35 minutes first and see how it goes. Stick that knife in. If it comes out clean, we're done. If not, give it a few more minutes. Now, I have a little bit of cleanup to do, and then we're going to make this beautiful whipped cream cheese frosting. All right. So let me just, we're gonna use our whip attachment. That's the one that almost looks like a whisk. That's what you want, all right? Half a cup of cream cheese, some confectioner's sugar, 1 1/4 cups of cream, vanilla, and of course more bourbon. We gotta have more bourbon. So let me do a little bit of cleanup, and I'm talking to you. It is the easiest thing to put this frosting together, and I want to tell you a little bonus that you're not going to believe. I'm only cleaning up because I need this cover or it's going to go all over the place. The one bonus is when you add cream cheese with whipped cream, it stabilizes it. There are some ingredients in cream cheese that will actually stabilize that beautiful air in the whipped cream, and actually it will not weep. So you will have this topping, if you top this cake, like right before you serve it and then you have leftovers, you'll be able to have this cake for several days. So it's absolutely wonderful. You will see, it is an incredible bonus to have this. All right, I'm gonna dry this off. And we are ready. Make sure that when you do dry something and wash it, you want to make sure it's really perfectly dry, so you don't get any extra unwanted ingredients in here. All right, move this out of the way. Fresh, clean bowl. All right. I have 4 ounces or about half a cup of cream cheese, softened. All right, that should be nice and soft. We're gonna put this on the electric mixing bowl with our whip attachment, remember. All right, so come on over and you're gonna see this sort of whip up a little bit. I'll show you. There's not that much of it, so you're just gonna let it get nice and whipped, all right? Let that go for a little bit. Then we're going to add a half a cup of powdered sugar. And you don't have to put it through a sieve unless it's lumpy. So I'm just going to get that in there on low speed. All right, so that's powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar. Just to sweeten it up just a little bit. You don't need too much. You don't need too much. Put that in there. All right, get that in there. Just make sure all the sugar is incorporated. Half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Just get that in there. And I see some sugar on the side, so I'm just going to push that down into it because we really want that incorporated before we add our cream. A few bang bangs here, a few little bits of noise. Here we go. So get that going. It looks nice and creamy now. A tablespoon of the bourbon. Use a high quality bourbon because it really does make a difference. It'll really be yummy. Just boost that up slowly. And then 1 1/4 cups of heavy cream. And I'm going to put that in very slowly. I just wanted to get the bourbon in there. And I'm just going to get that in slow and steady. And then we're going to raise the power to warp speed, Scotty, because we really want this fluffy, gorgeous whipped cream cheese icing. Okay, I'm going to do my magic trick. Okay, watch. I'm going to turn this on high, and I'm going to put my kitchen towel over it so it doesn't spray all over my kitchen. And you're going to let this get to really soft to firm peaks depending on what you get and how firm you like your icing. it goes pretty fast, you can see. Look at it. Look. Oh, it's gorgeous. Let's get a few more seconds in, folks. A few more seconds. All right. So if you kept going, you'd have very flavorful butter. And I have a video on how to make butter. All right. So this is luscious. And here you go. This is your beautiful, fluffy whipped cream cheese icing. Oh, so good. Just a hint of bourbon. Isn't that luscious? All right. So as you know, I always do, I have a cake all ready. Here she is. Look how gorgeous that is. With the beautiful color, the brown, lovely. I made some apple chips to highlight our applesauce. So we're highlighting all the main ingredients here. So what I suggest you do is plop your icing on. Make it high, make it tall. This is so spectacular. It just sort of says fall. It says fall. And I'm not even gonna use my offset. I'm just gonna get this over. And then I'm not done yet because I wanna show you what I love to do. Really want to get all this yumminess on there. Okay, so you see what I've done? I've smeared it, all right? And then what I'm going to do, take a little bit, maybe a tablespoon of the date syrup. Watch what I'm gonna do. Just see how it drizzles? It looks so gorgeous on this, I had to do it. Watch. So you're just gonna drizzle it. Watch how beautiful that looks. Just drizzle it all over, any pattern you want, because it's just so gorgeous and so pretty, and just gives just a hint of sweetness on the top. I just love doing that. And it just elevates it to such a high level. Here we go, wait a minute, one more big drizzle. One more big drizzle. And then we're gonna decorate it with some dried apple chips, which are super easy to make. So you're just gonna put this around any way you want. And it just says, hello, fall. We love you, fall. We love you. Look at how gorgeous that is. And it just says, harvest time, and apples, and dates, and nuts, and yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. So take your best apple chips. And there you have it. My best applesauce date cake. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Become a subscriber. I would love that, and I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.